Wilson, you think that goat sees how much I've managed today? Drat, look at that poor bird. This whole island seems determined to snag things in the mud. I suppose I'll have to excavate this fowl for you, friend. Heavens to Betsy, I am caught like a clumsy beetle in sticky sap. I simply cannot shift an inch more. You watch me, Wilson. You see how this little clump of earth defeats the greatest builder alive. Remember the first time, right after the storm? I was so scared. Wilson just huddled in the wreckage until I saw that pile of dry tinder. I kept blowing on it, a tiny puff at a time, feeling like I was coaxing a shy kitten awake. Then, suddenly, a little flicker, and then it caught, blooming into this beautiful, hungry orange thing. I jumped up and started spinning, screaming out loud that I had made it happen. The air smelled so sweet, like smoked sugar, and even the grumpy little chicken nearby seemed to stop pecking just to watch the light dance. By the beard of Neptune, I'm jammed up like a prize fishing lure in the muck. I'd give up all my perfectly good shell polish just to wiggle free right now. A strange little duck just waddled right up to my boots, looking at me like I owe it money. I wonder if the clock shop downtown still runs on actual springs, and if anyone even remembers how to wind one up properly. It feels like an impossible distance from the steady tick-tock of a normal morning. Glimpsing the turquoise water beyond the cove, Wilson, it looks like spilled paint on a giant's palette. This stretch of beach has sand that feels like powdered sugar under my bare feet. Starlight spills like spilled jewels across the water tonight. It reminds me that the mainland must have a whole jeweler's shop out there. Looking out now, Wilson, the moon casts a silver sheen across the gentle waves. The jungle beyond seems to breathe in slow, humid breaths. Notice how the slick leaves gleam like oiled emeralds under this grey curtain. Wilson, even the rain seems to whisper secrets here. Over there, a bovine creature grazes near the edge of the clearing, its hide shining wetly in the damp air. Even the sound of the rain seems muffled by the jungle's thick green curtain. Honestly, the seaweed tangled around my ankles looks like forgotten green yarn someone just threw down. It's a mess, a damp, salty tapestry. Good heavens, that poor crab is wedged tight in the shell pile. I must dig him out before the tide claims him completely. Do you remember that time I was building the lighthouse, Wilson? It was such a monumental thing. All 9 days of it. On day 8, I hit a wall, literally, because Margaret had claimed the best-looking stones for her sunbathing spot. I offered her a particularly shiny piece of driftwood, hoping it would be enough, and she just looked at it like it was stale bread. I wonder if she ever smiled for me after that, or if the smell of salt and damp earth still reminds her of my desperate bargain. Observe this tower, Wilson. It's going to make the horizon look positively quaint next to it. See that fox padding softly through the undergrowth? Its coat is the color of burnt cinnamon against the dark earth. Snow dust clings to everything, making the forest look like someone spilled powdered sugar all over a giant's messy picnic. Right over there, the sand shifts to a pale gold, and a fox just inspected my boot like it was a misplaced chew toy. Truly, the tide has polished the stones into little milky candies scattered near the high water mark. Amazing, look at those palm fronds. They catch the light like giant, sun-bleached green feathers. Charlie, look at that cow. It's utterly snagged in the mud like a forgotten chew toy. I suppose I'll have to excavate it myself. This island really traps everything, doesn't it? Look at this little settlement, Wilson. Even with this white blanket, it shines like a proper little village. Cobwebs of white drift down, making the whole place feel like a giant, forgotten confectionery display. At least I have my knees to keep me from getting dusted into oblivion. Brilliant. The drift has coated everything in a soft, blinding white blanket, like spilled flour across a baker's counter. Perhaps a giant SOS etched in burning logs will catch the eye of any passing vessel. Wilson, I just need more dried wood and a bit more optimism for the pyre. Do you recall the autumn evening near the reef, Wilson? The sky was a bruised purple, and I thought I heard a voice calling my name from just over the water. I remembered building a little signal fire, just a tiny offering to the empty expanse. Then, suddenly, the air grew thick with the sharp, sweet scent of wood smoke mixed with something unfamiliar, like roasted chestnuts. I swore I saw a silhouette standing just where the ocean met the darkening sky, waving slow and steady. It was only the moon reflecting off wet seaweed, I guess, but the moment still gives me the shivers. Good heavens, I am wedged solid. Wilson, this earth has clamped down on me like a clumsy giant's fist. I swear, my own clever path has become my cage, but I will claw out of this. Seems the fog hasn't lifted enough to see the perfect spot for that little plaque. Wilson, perhaps a little W Sparsi could help me raise a proper beacon someday. Blast it all, I'm caught in this muck like a beetle in amber. This island refuses to let a man breathe, does it? I'll tear this damp earth apart with my bare hands until I see daylight. By the stars, I'm trapped like a clumsy sea urchin in this frozen muck. I'm going to rip myself free like a stubborn root. Observe that little fellow. He waddles right up like a feathered, inquisitive dumpling in the falling powder. Dumbfounded, I wonder if this little hunk of poultry thinks it's going to learn to fly in this blizzard. Wilson, try this one. Why did the narwhal break up with the sea otter? Stargazing tonight is peaceful. Wilson, it makes me feel like the whole ocean is just breathing slowly out there. Knowing the dark is coming, I wish the night held its breath for just a bit longer. Wilson. Surely, this whole stretch of beach can support a giant ladder. Wilson, right up to the tide line. Remember when